So we have sites in Winter Garden and Tampa, and a few sites in Orlando area like Maitland and Winter Park. So we've been, we're a group of people, a lot of us know each other. We've been conducting clinical research for over a decade in this area. Maybe you've heard of Compass Research in the past. But K2 sort of all come together again to really focus on neuroscience research and psychiatric research. And how many of you have heard of clinical trials? Can you put your hand up if you've heard of clinical trials or know something about them? Okay, so quite a few people do. During COVID, with vaccines, it got a lot of publicity because, of course, clinical trials is the process medications go through or vaccines go through to become FDA approved. And so we're testing new medications and developing new devices all the time to try to help the general population. And what we're doing in neuroscience, a lot of it's geared towards memory impairment. So a quick mention here, if you have family or you yourself are 55 and above, we do a lot of Alzheimer's prevention research and Alzheimer's treatment. So if somebody that you know in your family has, or somebody that you know or somebody in your family has dementia, we might be able to help out with that, with them as we're investigating new treatments. Everything in clinical research is totally free. It's all voluntary. It's funded by the sponsors like pharmaceutical companies like Merck and AbbVie, Abbott, different Bristol Myers, Eli Lilly. These are the pharmaceutical companies who fund what we do. So what we're doing is finding patients who are eligible to be a part of the different research studies. And so sometimes, our goal is to connect with people who need that kind of help and to connect them with the right research. So what our research site in Winter Park is focusing on is psychiatry and neuroscience. And one of the big areas right now is autism research, autism spectrum disorder. And what we're doing for kids right now is a behavioral related study. So we have a treatment that's focused on helping with irritability and aggression, the kind that goes beyond what would be typical and what you would look for treatment for. And so we're working with a pharmaceutical company who has a medication that is targeting those symptoms. And like anything, like any medication that you try, it's not something that you have to stay on permanently. It's a short-term trial. It's all voluntary. So if you're in that camp and you're somebody who could maybe benefit from that type of research, let us know. We got your contact information. Anthony out there may just drop you a line to connect with you and see if there's somewhere in the research that we're doing that you could fit in and be a part of. And it's not just for right now, but in the future, we have all kinds of research studies coming. For instance, we have an adult autism study that's going to be opening in a few months, and that's focused on core symptoms of autism, social abilities, communication skills. So that clinical research study is hopefully going to be opening in a few months. It is a medication-based study as well. So, there's all kinds of opportunities in this area. We're probably going to be focusing on ADHD as well, ADHD treatments. So if you're an adult or a child with autism spectrum disorder, there may be something that is for you that you could plug into. Another part of that, just to mention, is assessment. So if you're still in the assessment phase and haven't had a formal evaluation done, we may be able to help with that ourselves. We have a psychiatrist, so Dr. Sejal Patel and I work really closely. And we do autism assessments and in an informal sense of like trying to get somebody started to see if they might qualify for a study. But we could do autism evaluations and then we can connect you with community partners if something more formal is required. We always try to partner with the nonprofits in the area. We have psychiatrists, neuropsychologists that we're networked with as well that we can utilize and rely on for referrals. So we'd like to help you along in whatever part of the journey you're at. Again, everything is completely free and voluntary. Participants in the studies do get reimbursed for their time as well. So typically it's per visit, you get reimbursed. Because what you're doing is massively benefiting us as a clinical research site and the world as a whole as you're testing new medications that may be helpful for you and other people in the future. So we're really grateful if you would take the time to just have a conversation with us and see if that's something that would make sense for you and for us. And I should mention, I think I introduced myself before and maybe forgot to this time, but my name's Matt Bubalo. I'm a licensed mental health counselor. So my focus has been on treatment for clients with depression and anxiety and bipolar disorder. And then I happen to start to focus on teenagers actually, who are on the autism spectrum, Asperger's, and I found that that's been a really great niche for me to work with teens and adolescents, young adults who are on the autism spectrum as well. So I really enjoy doing that kind of therapy, that kind of treatment. So it's been a great partnership to do that along with our psychiatrist, Sejal Patel, who also has a lot of experience working with adolescents and autism spectrum. So we're really passionate about the work that we're doing, and if there's any way that you can get involved, we'd appreciate that. And I think that it's about time to start the movie, but I would be glad to take any questions if anyone wants to put their hand up. I grabbed a little bit of time with some of you out there, but if you'd like to put your hand up, I could take a question or two. Might not be.
What's the name of the company again? What's the name of the company? That medical?
The company is called K2, letter K, number 2. Okay. K2 like the mountain. So K2 Medical Research. And so you can Google that, you can find our website, look us up. A lot of our bios are on there too if you want to do a little bit more research about who you'd be working with. So, and we'd encourage you to come check it out. Again, we have sites in Winter Park, Maitland, Winter Garden, Tampa even, and then there's another site here in Orlando too. Any other questions?